Hello, World Tank Blitzers. It's Littlefinger. Happy Friday, December 23rd. Just a couple more days until Christmas, so I wanted to wish everyone out there watching this video a very Merry Christmas. Before I get into the obligatory Friday store review, I wanted to just summarize my experience with the Snow Globe event, which you can see that I have completed already, which is because I ended up buying a lot of these gold boxes. Way more than I should have. So, first off, the Type 62. If you're thinking about getting this and you already have it, the compensation is 1 million silver. No gold compensation if you go for the Type 62. I couldn't find documentation on that anywhere, so I thought that was important to know. If you remember last week, the first paid container that I opened here dropped the Snow Globe. A 2% drop chance. Ended up opening another 73 more and didn't get a single Snow Globe. There is some gold in these containers, but it is a small amount. It's mainly all boosters. So I dropped from 4 million free XP to 1 million free XP in that endeavor. I ended up buying $85 worth of gold, netting me 79,000 gold. $85, 79,000 gold. Works out to be about 920 gold per dollar. So very good deal in the store right now for buying gold, which is why I did it. And knowing that the holiday, the Christmas, friends and family coming in town, not going to have as much time to play Blitz, and I wanted to go ahead and complete the event, I ended up buying a lot of snow globes. Ended up spending 47,000 gold. And that is, well, I spent more gold than that. The fact of the matter is that of all 10 snow globes that I got and opened were all tanks that I already had, so I received gold compensation for all of those. So it wasn't except for the charms that I got the STRV on the 10th and final snow globe, which was 47,000 gold. So the most expensive tank that I have purchased by far in the game. So you're gonna have to open up a lot of gold boxes, which apparently have a 10% drop chance. I'm not so sure that that is what it felt like to me, because I did end up opening quite a few of those boxes. So anyway, that's my experience on the Snow Globe event. Real quick, we are in the last day of the auction. There's 4 tanks left. IS-3D, lowest price, 5,000 gold. Not too bad of a price for that tank, in my opinion. T26E5 is probably the best deal right now, just under 1,800 left right now. 3,000 gold for a tier 8. I call it a heavium. You know, it's got some good mobility. Currently, I'm running that at about a 57% win rate, which is a little bit below my average. But 2,000 average damage for a tier 8 tank shows you that it can play pretty well. The M41D for 2,000 gold, another good price. Difficult tank to play, lacks pen, it's got great speed. And you have to be wary of all of those big old dirt guns at tier 7 and 8. And then finally, the Object 252U, 1,300 left for 5,000 gold, which I think is just an average price for it at the moment. The tank has been around and for sale quite a bit lately. So let's hop on over to the store and see what we've got going on. Of course, you can see the gold boxes that I filled up and purchased are now gone. Just have these 2 left, but sitting over 100,000 gold, I'm gonna pass on those. Holiday card container, you should have received a free one. Make sure you open that. I ended up getting 500 gold, so that was pretty lucky. 20% drop chance on all of those, so 100% chance of getting gold out of that deal. And then it's basically all backgrounds and avatars outside of that. Thinking maybe there's an attachment, but no attachments in this container here. But thank you, Wargaming, for the free container. The New Year bundle we'll talk about real quick. For what we've seen the certificates selling for, this is really not a bad price. However, I'm just warning everybody about these certificates because over half the tanks are at tier 5 and tier 6. So that's most likely where your tank is going to be. You know, if you don't have any use for a tier 5 or tier 6 tank, then you know, pass on the bundle because you're really not getting great value of gold out of this bundle at all. And I think that's because Wargaming puts a lot of value on these attachments, the snow gun here and Tanky the Snowman. And I got to admit, Tanky the Snowman is pretty cool. That thing kind of rotating on top of your tank, but 5 of them for $10, $2 each, or 4,000 gold for one. It's pretty steep. So just keep that in mind. I think there's a lot of overinflated price there on those attachments. One of the best deals if you're in need of a year's worth of premium time for 12,000 gold there, especially if you're buying gold here near, you know, 750 to 1,000 gold per dollar. Mila in action. Let's take a look at this one. I really didn't look at it. So 1,000,000 silver, 5 10x 10 5x boosters, and 2,500 gold for $5. So that's 500 gold per dollar. Not great compared to what else is in the store. But again, the 5x boosters and a little bit of premium time, it's an okay deal. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it though. Object 268 for $35. Really expensive. This tank is obviously very new, hasn't been for sale that frequently. So the price is going to be high, and I think that is too high for this tank, quite honestly. I'm gonna pass on mystery boxes. I'm just not a fan of those mystery boxes. One of the interesting bundles out right now, the FCM. We talk about this just about every week. There's always a low tier tank for a low dollar amount. We've got 25 gold boosters, which, you know, what I do is add 15, assuming that you win 50% of your battles at tier 10. You would get 15 gold per booster, which is 375. If you sell the tank, you get an additional 950. So that's putting you at 1325 for $3. So we're already at 440 gold per dollar on this deal. You're also getting 5x boosters that apply to all tanks, so we know that that's pretty valuable. And if you've sold the tank, you're going to get a garage slot, which is also valuable to several people if you're newer to the game. But what I found most intriguing about this was the addition of the French container with a 10% drop chance. So chances are still pretty low, but the gold has a 25% drop chance as well. So 35% chance, 1 in 3, of either getting gold or a tank. And if you already have all of these tanks like I do, you can get 3750 added on to that 1325. And what we say was $3, you're talking about almost 1,700 gold per dollar just by getting one of these tanks. So it's intriguing, not to say the least, but again, it is gambling on a crate to get that deal. ISU 130, interesting tank for sure. I rather like this tank as a TD. You notice here the average pen 257, it drops for your premium AP to 226, and your average damage goes up from 460 to 530. So one of those rare tanks where you actually doing more damage with your premium round. 2 black boxes, or collect them all. Essentially, what do we got in here? Just a list of tanks at 0.5% here. 5% chance of a tank. So not a great opportunity to get tank out of that. 5X applies only to the ISU 130. So it's a tier 8 tank destroyer for 5,500. Not a bad price, to be honest with you. I think you'll enjoy playing that tank if you like TDs. Not going to talk about the customization container here just yet. I think it comes up in the store a little bit later. Here we go with that great choice. We saw this with the certificate for $12. So obviously the other one is a much better deal, so stay away from this one for the time being. The Angry Connor is in stores. This is interesting. Don't see this tank for sale too frequently, which might be why it's 2,500 gold. I feel like this is a little bit high for this tank, not too much. But the 5X boosters is nice that it applies to all tanks. If you don't know anything about the tank, you have to drive it backwards, which is annoying because then you have to rotate 180 degrees to try to shoot anything. So the gimmick is it drives faster in reverse than forward. And that just bothers me. I'm not a fan of this tank at all, but I know there's some people out there that really do enjoy it. The AT-15A, another tank that really bothers me. It is a little bit better than some of the other ATs because this hatch here is not as big, but people still pen it. It's just one of those spots that you can't hide regardless of where you get to on the map. And just being such a slow tank, it either needs a little bit more speed or at least needs a little bit more armor to be effective. The 15.5X apply only to that tank, so not a great deal in my opinion as the Angry Connor. Super Conk, one of the better heavy tanks in my opinion. Statistically though, it really doesn't seem like it would be that strong of a tank, but it just plays well on the battlefield. You know, I kind of put it in line with some of those American tanks that do everything really well with mobility, but not anything super excellent. So still a lot there for the for 25, but it is obviously a tier 10. We've got the Rhino Rumpanzer here for 15,000 gold. Feel like that is a pretty strong price for that tank. Tog 2, 2,500, and I have a visitor here. Let's see. I'm not going to talk about the battle pass as we're almost at the end of the month. Double impact. We talked about this last week. I kind of like this bundle for 11,000 gold. Let's just double check. Yeah, the 5X boosters are only for those tanks. But what I like is you're getting two kind of different tanks here. The T-34-3 has a big gun on it, doing 400 average damage per shot. So a little bit on the unique side for a tier 8 medium tank. And then we've got the WZ-112-2 here, which is your typical heavy tank with that Chinese/Russian gun handling on it. Difference being it's not a pike nose, so it's a little bit easier to side scrape and whatnot out of it. And I find the armor profile seems to be a little bit stronger than some of those pike nose Soviet tanks. Resources, I don't see anything in here, you know, really of great value compared to where you can buy gold already in the store. So I'm gonna skip on over that. The WZ by itself, 7,500, seems pretty strong. T-34-3 is only 5,000. And a little bit of word of warning there. The tech tree variant of this tank is very similar. So you can just use that without the credit coefficient. Excuse me. Chinukai 8,500. That is just way too expensive. We talked about the camos here last week. I think it's interesting, obviously, that these are selling well, and Wargaming's making good money off of them. So that really is it. I think there was one other talking about the customization containers. If you're interested in these, what I do like is there's some of those attachments, which we talked about earlier, that Wargaming does seem to place a pretty high value on in here that you could get for free, but as you can see, the percent chance of getting those are very, very low. So just keep that in mind. But hey, I mean, if you sell all of those camos and you're getting these splinters, what else are you going to spend those splinters on, right? So maybe you can turn that into an attachment for one of your tanks. So with that, looking forward to the auction week 2 and seeing what's in there. Praying that one of those tanks that I didn't get in the snow globe is in there as well. So with that, guys, I hope you have a Merry Christmas and get everything that you've asked for. And we'll catch you next week. Have fun out there. Stay safe. Get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.